Family, Shelton here. Just wanted to do a quick little video for you guys. Some of my favorite core exercises. And we really wanted to put this together. Because really one of my brother, we were just talking this weekend. He's getting ready for one of those figure competition shows, right? And he was like, man, I really need to get rid of this little bit of fat right here. The guy's pretty lean. Kind of puts me to shame in a lot of ways. And he's like, I'm gonna get over here and do whatever machine or whatever he's gonna do. I'm like, dude, that's not gonna work because you can't spot reduce. So these exercises I'm gonna give you aren't going to help cut you up, right? That's done in the kitchen, right? By what you eat, help drop the body fat, and then that'll help show the musculature under. And then in conjunction with that, when you have a good core strengthening exercise, that's when you can build up that core and you really see the muscles that are kind of the foundation of what you're doing. Second to that is, a lot of times people think crunches and sit-ups and they just get in there, gym, and they're doing this whole thing. And most of the exercises I'm going to show you today are going to be what we call anti-rotation, anti-flexion exercise. We're really preventing either the rotation of the spine or the flexion of the spine so we can protect that low back or that lumbar area. Because we get a lot of flexion here. What tends to happen when we're doing crunches and sit-ups, kind of think of that low back and the disc. You have your disc, right? And in between those discs, think about going camping, right? And you have graham cracker, you're about to make some s'mores, right? You go graham cracker, marshmallow, another graham cracker, stacked on top of one another. You left the chocolate out, you left it at home, whatever the case may be, right? And then you go to bite into that s'more. What happens to that marshmallow? It starts to come out the back end, right? And you try to push it back in, take a bite again, comes out the back end. So eventually that marshmallow flies out. And that's kind of what happens when we're doing a lot of flexion exercises, right? Eventually that low back or the discs are going to press in between a little squishy area in between your vertebral disc. So eventually one day it's going to pop out, and that's when we start to have bulging disc complications, especially in that L4 or the low back area, really low back. And that soft squishy stuff presses against the nerve, and that's when you start to have lower back pain. So we want to prevent that. So it might not happen, a few times you may do thousands of sit-ups, so eventually that will probably happen to you, right? When I was in the Army, I used to do tons of crunches and sit-ups. My back would always be hurting me, and that was a key reason why. Not necessarily, partially because of that, and also you talk about getting, your hip flexors, start to get those into place where you're pulling your hips down. So now you get into this position here, what we call anterior pelvic tilt. So you're just in a bad position overall. So we want to prevent that. And a lot of exercises today are going to be key to help us get into that neutral spinal position, and also give you the musculature and give your core the strength that it needs to prevent that excessive flexion of the spine and excessive rotation of that spine or the low back area. All right. So sorry about all that nerdy stuff there. So I'm going to show you 11 exercises, some of my favorite things that you can do at home. Simple. All you need is a resistance band or body weight, and you can do a great core strengthening exercise or a workout routine with these exercises. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is a resistance band mountain climber. I love these things. What you do is take a resistance band, place it across the low back, or you can place it across the upper back. Place it across the upper back, work a little more the shoulder, a little more shoulder stability, low back, really get that core engaged. So you can just hold a plank here, shoulders directly under the wrist, come up into that plank position. Make sure we don't have this where that band is pressing the low back and you get that excessive arch here, all right? So press into that band and keep that nice loose position. Now all we'll do is bring one knee up at a time. I like to take these nice and slow, all right? You can speed it up if you'd like. Make sure we're not bouncing up and down. It's like you have a knife right under your belly button. If you bounce up and down, you're going to stab yourself, right? So whether you're taking them slow or fast, that really gets it cranked up and gets that core engaged. Next up, I'm going to show you guys a resistance band chopper, all right? So you want to anchor the resistance band up high, go high to low or low to high. So we're going to show high to low. We're anchored up high. Wrap that around the pole. Make sure it's anchored to something nice and sturdy, all right? You don't want to be in one of those failed YouTube videos because that'd be kind of embarrassing, all right? So what we're going to do, we're going to pivot on that back foot. I like to turn my hips to face my anchor point. And grab that band, we're gonna pivot down. So my hips are almost facing the opposite wall. And I'm gonna pivot back up. I like to say pivot on that back foot, like you're killing a bug, and come right back up, face that band or an anchor point, and right back down outside the knee. See, I'm hinging at the hips, nice straight back as I come down, and right back up. So my motion, my shoulders pretty much stay stacked over my hips the whole time. I'm not rotating here, all right? Remember, trying to prevent that. So we're coming down, pivoting, and right back up, go the other direction. Next up, just one without any weights, will be a walking plank. So all we're doing, you can do modified here, come up into a full plank position. We're gonna come down to our elbow, press up on our hand, trying to keep those hips as quiet as possible. Make sure we're alternating sides. Sometimes people stay on that dominant side and they walk out with one arm bigger than the other. People are like, why is that one arm bigger than the other? Why are you always walking like this? And yeah, it becomes a little awkward. So we don't want that. So make sure you're alternating sides each time. Don't just stay on that dominant side. Next up is a side plank row. So I like this, because instead of our traditional side plank, we're just staying nice and still and static. Now we're adding almost an anti-rotational component in there, making it a lot more dynamic, getting the back involved, getting a lot more muscles engaged. So we're getting to that side plank position. I'll turn here to the side for you guys. Make sure once again we're anchored to a lower point. And we either do a modified side plank or a full side plank with the legs straight up. Make sure we're not flaring our ribs with nice straight lines, shoulders, hips, and knee. We're gonna pull straight in and right back out. Pull straight in and right back out. So now my core really has to engage to prevent that rotation here. And then you'll switch to the other side. So knock out 10 to 15 reps, switch to the other side. Next up, nice and simple. It's an inchworm, all right? It's a little hard to do on this carpet here. We'll make it work. So start your feet shoulder width apart, hands down, you walk yourself out to a plank position, and walk yourself back. Get a little push up at the bottom, feeling really good. Show you guys over here where it's a little easier so I don't fall on my face. A little easier to grip on the rubber matting here. Walk yourself out, and then you can walk yourself out all the way overhead as far as you comfortably can and walk yourself back. So once I get into that extended position, my core really has to engage. We have to make sure you have good core strength and stability. We're not letting that low back arch as you're coming along, all right? Next up will be a knee drive plank. So we're gonna place this resistance band right above the knees. This little mini band here. So we get into a plank position. Shoulders directly over wrists. We're gonna start with our feet about shoulder width apart, okay? So we're not in close. Turn to the side for you guys. Feet aren't in close. So we get those glutes engaged, get the glute medius engaged here. And we're gonna drive the knee outside and in, outside and in. See, now everything stays nice and stable except for that leg that is driving out and in. We don't want any movement in that torso. Leg just comes out, drive it back in, work your way back and forth, all right? Next up, we're gonna get the glutes again, just in a different manner. Little posterior chain or low back area, little shoulder stability. We're gonna do a dynamic reverse plank. So we're gonna take a resistance band, place it across our hips. Either run a tabletop here, hands are back, and we're gonna drive up nice and tall, tall to the top, and right back down, or make it a little more challenging. Straighten those legs out, drive up tall, head comes back, neutral spine all the way through, and right back up, all right? Next up, we're gonna do a plank reverse fly. So this one, add a little extra rotational component once again, or anti-rotational component once again to that plank instead of that side plank. We're gonna be in a plank position, all right? We're here, either modified on your knees or full plank. Make sure we're stable, everything stays nice and still. We're gonna reach across, and that band comes across. So we're working the back shoulder of that arm that is moving, and that core really has to stick in order to keep everything nice and still, all right? Knock out 5 to 10 each side. You really feel that core engage. Next up, dead bug, one of my all-time favorites. I'll show you different progressions on here. So you go without a band. This one you gotta coordinate your movements so the arms and legs are moving accordingly. We'll get in, press our low back into the ground, so make sure we don't have an arch here. So press down, arms up overhead, as well as your knees at 90 degrees. And all you do is extend opposite arm, opposite leg out. We're gonna inhale fully first, get a big belly here. And then we're gonna exhale as we extend opposite arm, opposite leg. Think about pressing your ribs down into the ground as you exhale. So it's a nice slow movement. You see I'm shaking a little bit because I'm really focusing on getting those ribs down. Make it a little more challenging. You can get a little resistance where you're holding up overhead. So take a resistance band. Hold your hands apart from one another, right over your chest. Make sure you have some good resistance here. Once again, that low back's engaged with the ground. Arms up over your chest. Exhale fully. The great thing about that is we're getting our diaphragm engaged, and our diaphragm is one of the key supporters for our low back. When we learn how to control that diaphragm, it's really going to help support our core stability, all right? And really make us stronger in everything that we do from a core strengthening standpoint. Anti-rotation twist. So it's anti-rotation or anti-Russian twist, all right? So what we're going to do here, this one's a little bit different. You know how we normally do Russian twist? We go side to side with the med ball, feet up, feet down. This time we're going to do something a little different. Where we're not going to rotate, we're going to prevent that rotation. We're going to lean back 45 degrees, like we would in a Russian twist. Chest out, shoulders back. And that resistance band is coming across our body at a 90-degree angle, so it's perpendicular to our body. And all we're going to do, as we're leaning back, we're going to press it, resistance band pretty much straight up overhead. So we're going to press it out, and right back in. If you need a little more assistance or stability, bring those feet a little bit wider or come in closer. As you get up overhead and get extended, you really feel that core engaged. Those obliques on the opposite side really have to prevent that rotation. It's a beautiful movement. And then, last but not least, classic, it's anti-rotation / anti-flexion. So called a peel-off press. At least anti-rotation called a peel-off press. So what we'll do is place a resistance band. It's going to be parallel to the body. Place it right in front of the sternum. Feet about shoulder width apart. The closer the feet are in, the more difficult it becomes. The further apart, easier it becomes because that wider base of support. And all we're going to do is press the band straight out from our sternum without rotating. Keep it straight out in a straight line from that sternum. If you feel yourself where you have to rotate towards inside, that means it's a little too challenging. You need to bring it in a little bit or get a lighter band. Press it out and right back in. Out and right back in. And then turn it around and knock out the other side. So that's our anti-rotation. Anti-flexion is just going straight up overhead. Once again, we're going to keep it midline of the body. So we're going to press it up and right back in. So we're preventing this movement here. Press it up, right back down, and we'll get those obliques engaged, all right? So those are 11 exercises, technically 12, that you can do to help engage your core, add it to your core strengthening exercise portion. Great after your warm-up or even after you finish the main portion of your workout. So if you have any questions, let me know, hit me back. Otherwise, you guys enjoyed. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video.